Hello everyone, welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy. Today we are going to discuss about the Hindu newspaper of 27/8/2022. In today's newspaper, I'm going to discuss about the issues that are important, but before that, there were some technical issues in the last two videos, and that issue was mainly associated with writing on the newspaper, which was not going together. So today we will be trying to ensure that those disturbances are not there, and if still the problem persists, please let us know so that we can do the changes accordingly. So today, guys, I hope you have the newspaper with you. Again, the number of issues are less. Try to see them in detail. So the first issue itself is about Congress, especially about Ghulam Nabi Azad, who has went out of Congress party, so it's not so important, you can leave it. Then three judge bench to review Supreme Court verdict on poll promises. See guys, freebies debate is going on and Supreme Court is going to look into it. So they have appointed a three judge bench to look into this issue. Many people have argued that state is doing corruption at its level. So whether it is right or not is what the bench wants to check. FIFA lifts ban on Indian football. You might have heard, which we have explained as well, that AIFF was actually banned because of interventions by administrators. And today the ban is removed, which means India can host under 17 Women's World Cup in October. Guys. Now, Supreme Court relief not required. Consider applications. This is Bengaluru. Again, Patna issue is about the political issue. So, no need to read them. Guys. Let's get into the editorial page about the editorial in detail. So, yeah. So, guys, the first issue is about a draconian law that needs to disappear. The Northeast needs to be freed from the net of AFSPA as it has subsumed constitutional rights with impunity. Guys, this is an article written by MP Nathaniel, who was Inspector General of Police, CRPF. And guys, let me explain about this article in detail because it's very important from internal security point of view as well. So to begin with, first let us understand what is the issue of Northeast India is. Now, at the time of independence, several states or several tribal communities, especially from Naga groups, right? Naga groups. In Manipuri, you have a group called as Meeti. You have a group called as Kuki, right? All these groups, they were thinking that they were not part of India and they are independent. In 1928, when you had Simon Commission coming and discussing about what should be the future progress, people from Naga community went to Simon Commission and told that if at all you are giving independence to India, then remember Nagas do not belong to India. And they wanted independence from India right from that time. And guys, in 1942, against these groups, British government had brought an ordinance called as Armed Forces Special Powers Ordinance. And in 1946, that is after Second World War, there was a Naga leader by name A.Z. Fizo. He was a Naga and he was trained by Britishers in guerrilla warfare so that he can fight against Japanese. After the end of Second World War, A.Z. Fizo trained the Naga groups and they started attacking police. They started attacking Assam rifles and also army people. So it was so bad that armed attack used to happen and many of our groups were killed. Now when people were killed continuously, Indian government also established Armed Forces Special Powers Act. And guys, according to this act, AFSPA, army people can arrest anyone. Even if they kill anyone, it will be looked in by army court. Any atrocities, whether it is rape, whether it is killings, right? Or let me say there is a building, and if army suspects that terrorists are hiding there, army can blast them as well. So, like this, there were many measures taken by the army against the insurgency groups. But whenever army is on one side and insurgency groups are on the other side, common people become the victims. In this case also, common people were killed, where more than 1500 fake encounters were actually reported. So all those people formed an organization and recently they went to Supreme Court. Supreme Court read about this issue and said that yes, there is some sort of problem in AFSPA. We need to consider this seriously. After Modi government came to power, partially AFSPA is removed from Assam, Nagaland and Manipur, and over a period of time we have plans to completely remove it. Recently the Prime Minister has told that as a part of peace process in Northeast, we will be removing AFSPA completely. And guys, I just want you to know about a lady, Iron Lady, who was popularly known as Irom Sharmila, right? So Irom Sharmila, fine, Irom Sharmila, if you look at her, this lady went on for fasting for almost 16 years against AFSPA. Right? She was fasting for 16 years. Can you imagine? And her fight was to remove AFSPA. And also, we have heard of a case called Mothers of Manipur who paraded naked in Manipur against armed forces. So guys, there are certain aspects which has happened due to misuse of AFSPA. And remember, army is good, but there will be few people who might have disreputed the organization. So in this particular aspect, we are talking about such people who have disgraced. But fortunately, government of India has realized that it has to be removed and it's a welcome step not only for the development of Northeast, human rights of Northeast, but also for the security of the countries. So now let us see the next issue. Guys, this issue, shadow over Soren, is actually your political issue, politics issue, not so important. I want you to read the article once, no need to make notes, because in internal security they will cover this topic in detail and give you proper notes. So rather than wasting your time on that, if you can read that properly, that's enough. Guys, this is a very, very important issue. Murder in the sewer, right? So this is extremely important, guys. So Gandhiji had told that in this life I have fought against, like the atrocities of Dalit, but in the next life I need to fight against manual scavenging. That means people are being used to clean the toilets and other things that are actually present. And guys, especially pits and all, many people have died when they have gone into the pits to remove whatever things are blocking them. And this is not proper, and this needs to be removed, is what this article is trying to talk. Tamil Nadu government has recently spoken about, the rules, especially for manual scavenging, which is completely prohibited. Fine. Earlier, you had this manual scavenging being allowed, but now it is completely prohibited. And it also specifies what all protection the people who are cleaning must be undertaking. For example, they must have air purifier gas mask, a device for artificial respiration, mask and breathing apparatus, right? They also need to be given chlorine mask, emergency medical oxygen, right? Gas monitor for gases, hydraulic devices, first aid, and many other aspects. So I would just say, in these two, from social issues point of view, if you can read, that's enough. And in this, guys, in the second paragraph, there are certain details given, like total 971 people lost their lives while cleaning sewers or septic tanks. That line is very, very important for you, right? Manual scavengers, you can write. Social justice, below that you write that 971 people 971 people have lost their life in the last 971 people have lost their lives in the last few years few years while cleaning sewers, SCWERS, sewers, or septic tanks, SCPTIC, septic tanks. Next point, guys. Tamil Nadu government Tamil Nadu government has made it mandatory that manual manual scavenging is not permitted. They are also providing they are also providing certain technical apparatus APPARATUS, like airline respirator. You can see here, airline respirator, air purifier air purifier gas mask, etc. So guys, don't think about this particular issue. This will be covered with the help of other aspects. The story in detail is not so helpful for you. Now, Congress leaders Shah meet Operation Lotus, greatly relished. At least one constitution bench will function. They are planning. Shiv Sena, right? Twitter stonewalls queries on claims of government agent on payroll. All these are political issues, guys. Mirwais is disallowed to join Friday prayers, not important. Now, army speeds of procurement of light tanker Zorawar for LAC. See guys, there is a tanker called as Zorawar, and this is indigenously built, that is within the country it is being built. Indian light tank. Guys, light tankers basically means the weight of it will be less, and when the weight of it is less, we can carry it to different altitudes. Because let us imagine we are taking a tanker which is very heavy near Himalayas, and if at all the weight cannot be bared by the rocks below, it would lead to landslides. It may lead to several other issues. So, we normally argue that if we have light tankers, it will be very, very important, especially as recently China has also done drilling. So, yes, at the altitude of 15,000 feet, right, we need to have certain of our tankers and all to fight against Chinese, and for that this Zorawar, a very, very important point in science and technology. In defense, you can write Zorawar, Zorawar hyphen indigenously built, Indian light tank. See guys, net zero target could boost India's GDP. So this is an interesting issue, mainly because from environment point of view, as it can create around 15 million jobs by 2047, guys. So this is what they are trying to tell. It is a report, not so important, but just go through it once. Yesterday also we have discussed about this in great detail. Need system for maritime concerns. Guys, this is about India-Sri Lanka relations. And in this issue, we are talking about recently a Chinese ship came near Hambantota port, right? Hambantota port. And India was upset for allowing Chinese ship near our borders, and that too, that was a spy ship which was trying to collect information from India. So we were worried about this presence. Sri Lanka is telling we should not lose our friendship on the basis of this. We should see how such things will not happen in future. And then they are telling that we are very happy for India helping us in IMF and all. So in India Sri Lanka relations, guys, in India Sri Lanka relations, I want you to write 2 points. Chinese naval ship, Chinese naval ship came near Hambantota, Hambantota, and Sri Lanka says it is for refueling, refuelling, refueling and replenishing supplies, refueling and replenishing supplies. Fine. Next point you write, India has supported Sri Lanka. India has supported Sri Lanka for IMF bailout, for IMF bailout. Next, India and Sri Lanka. India and Sri Lanka planned to travel planned to travel to Tokyo to attend former Japan Prime Minister former Japan Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's state funeral. State funeral. Okay. So guys, next, center picks 75 tribal districts for TB intervention project. A very very important thing, guys. It is seen that TB, tuberculosis, among the tribal population has actually increased, and many people are doing campaign, and they are trying to ensure that this disease is actually reduced. So we are trying to come up with community engagement program where we are teaching the communities how to, reduce the instances of TB and what to do when there is a TB. So yes, this campaign is called as Ashwasan campaign. What is it? Ashwasan campaign. In ethics paper, while talking about attitude change, you can actually use such things. That is, you see, door to door screening done in 68,000 villages. So what do? They go to every house and try to tell what should be done, what shouldn't be done, all these issues, and this will have great impact in changing the people's attitude. So this is very very important for you. I just want you to write down that social issues or ethics, anywhere you can use this. Ashwasan campaign, Ashwasan campaign to detect TB cases, TB cases across 174 tribal districts. Next, guys, lumpy skin disease. So there was a disease in Gujarat which led to killing of thousands of cattle. Lumpy skin disease in cattle. You write that. Lumpy skin disease in cattle led to death of thousands of cattle. Full stop. This issue is mainly because cattle is not vaccinated. Cattle is not vaccinated. Yes, diseases of cattle and other organisms or any other living organism becomes important because, India is largest producer of milk in the world, and if anything of this sort may affect it, so we must be aware about it. Vishnugarh project likely to face inquiry. World Bank panel mulls scrutiny over complaints of damage to Uttarakhand temple, livelihood loss. See guys, in India, at Chamoli district, we are constructing Vishnugarh Pipalkoti hydroelectric project. Guys, I want you to have it in your economic geography. right? Economic geography, Vishnugarh Pipalkoti hydroelectric project. Fine. So now what is going to happen? When we construct the dam, there may be certain damages to temples and also to people. So inquiry committee is going to come, but geographically I want you to know this particular project name. That is more than enough case. So yeah, international relations, there is no much news, guys. No need to worry. Adani Group not required. India keen to know more on Russian oil price cap plan. I just want you to know that when Russia-Ukraine war is going on, oil prices have increased in most parts of the world, but at the same time, Russia is trying to reduce the prices so that people will start purchasing from them. So India wants to know about it, not so important. So other issues are either a company oriented, or it may be about certain issues, so which is not so important for you guys. After that you have sports, fine, which is again not so important. So guys, I hope today there was no disturbance, and if there was disturbance, please do comment, and also comment us about how exactly the things are, and help us by giving constant feedback. We are open for the feedback, because then only we will be able to understand what student community require, and whatever is possible we'll try to incorporate it. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot.